Hello, welcome back to the Paris newsroom here at France 24. We're taking you through the international papers. Here with me for that is Kyle Brown. And Kyle, we're looking at some papers from the United States, first of all. Very understandably, there's lots of news stories there about that shooting in Wisconsin.
Yes, indeed. Lots of stories and more details are emerging about Wade Page, the man who is reported to have made the grave shooting outside of the Sikh center. And there are reports coming out now, particularly in the New York Times, talking about how he was a rock singer in groups that specialized in lyrics of hate. Some of the lyrics talked about murdering Jews, murdering black people, gays, horrific lyrics, really. And they're cited in some of these newspapers. And another point of fact coming out of the New York Times report, very interesting, that he was actually on watch lists, not least on the Southern Poverty Law Center's lists, which were actually tracking him for the past decade. So they had their eye on him, but they didn't do anything about it, obviously. And then moving on swiftly to the Huffington Post, it's got a series of photos on the aftermath of the shooting at the Sikh Center. And that he was, of course, killed in a police shootout on that day. And lastly, The Guardian is running a piece about the Sikhs in the US and how they have actually been a scapegoat in the aftermath of the September 11th attacks of 2001.
Yeah, quite a little-known minority, really.
Yes.
Misunderstood, perhaps, we could say.
Indeed, not a lot of information out there about them, but also one of the little-known facts is that one of the first attacks after the September 11th attacks was actually against, a retaliatory violence was actually against a Sikh, the first one, according to The Guardian. And that was by a man back in 2001, went on to kill a number of other people from ethnic minorities. So interesting piece in The Guardian about the retaliatory violence, the scapegoats, and in fact, just that this is just the latest episode, according to The Guardian.
People looking to minorities to scapegoat. Well, moving on to the Middle East. That story about militants shooting dead Egyptian border guards and fleeing off into Israel. What are the papers making of that?
Yes, the border police were shot dead, a number of them shot dead in this particular attack. The Wall Street Journal is saying that this should have been avoided, that there was another attack in the Sinai in the other direction, really. Militants had been attacking soldiers in Israel. And it just shows, the Wall Street Journal says, that it's a major hole in the security of the region. And they go on to say that the US actually should avoid giving the new Egyptian government any kind of military support until the government actually proves that it's capable of looking after the Sinai, a very sensitive zone. And it says that in addition, Egypt doesn't need tanks, doesn't need jet fighters. What it needs is counterinsurgency training and equipment.
Okay, very complex situation there in Sinai. The Wall Street Journal calling it a mini Afghanistan as well. Moving on to the Olympics now. This is a story very close to my heart. Great Britain's medals have gone to quite a lot of people from mixed-race families, immigrants, second-generation Brits.
That's right. And Mo Farah, obviously being the high-profile winner of the gold in the 10K. He's originally from Somalia, but obviously he's being embraced among the Brits as one of their own. And Yasmin Alabai Brown of The Independent says, well, this is all very interesting. You know, we have a number of people who are either immigrants or second or third generation Britons and who, you know, are now being embraced, but it's a bit awkward for the pundits and politicians who have been less than warm to the immigrants in the country.
Yeah, she's having a go at one of the other newspapers there, isn't she? The Daily Mail, I think.
Actually, you could cite that paper, but in fact, you could probably cite a whole list of people over the past several months or several years who have had a go in one way or another at the immigrants, in particular, people who have been using the term plastic Brits and other derogatory terms. And so she's saying, well, this is a bit awkward for all of you people. You know, now we're embracing them. It reminds her of when she was a child, when she had good grades, her parents embraced her as the daughter of the family. But of course, her father would look at her when she was rather less well behaved and say, you're your mother's daughter. That kind of thing where, you know, the immigrants of the UK, their heritage, Jamaican or Somali heritage is cited when things go awry, but the Olympics are going well for them. They're British.
Oh, well, they're all British to me. All the success is British to me. Thanks very much, Kyle Brown, with that look through the international newspapers.